Once you hit your mid to late 30s, searching for houses is a good time and your favorite pastime. Raise your hand, everybody here, if you do this. If you look for your dream home, yep, we have 2 hands up from Brian. Oh, we have a hand up from our guest. Online, I mean, everybody does it.
Yes.
And as you've all seen by looking at your phones and looking at the market, it's really expensive. So according to Zillow, from 2020 to 2024, the monthly mortgage payment on a typical home in the U.S. nearly doubled. Gulp. Oh my gosh, and that's just over 4 years. The company estimates that a household needs around $106,000 a year to comfortably cover annual mortgage costs. Okay, let's look at the reality. The median household income in this country is around $81,000. And by the way, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, rising costs plus the pandemic-era shift to remote work, they're partly why Americans are fleeing big cities. And they're going way out, even beyond the suburbs, to a lovely place called the exurbs. Exurbs are smaller towns far outside major metropolitan areas, but still within commuting striking distance. And according to the census, exurbs are among the fastest growing places to live.
For more on the exodus to the exurbs, we are joined by Zillow chief economist Skylar Olsen. Skylar, good morning. I imagine you're very popular at parties. Questions about housing?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I get to play with all that data behind the scenes.
Oh,
yes.
Tell us something that we don't know. Okay, so the most popular housing markets were the exurbs and small cities, according to Zillow's year-end data. That's just affordability driving all that?
Well, I think it's a combination of affordability and opportunity. We've got a lot of potential first-time home buyers, that middle-aged millennial generation that is hoping to become first-time home buyers, right? Hoping to move on. They're in that kind of stage of life, whether you're renting or buying, you do tend to be seeking more space, right? Possibly an office in your home, right? That's much more possible now, further out, because you have remote work that provides that opportunity, but also much, 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 much more affordable often to keep going.
How much more affordable? How would you compare the exurbs? And great term, by the way. Did you guys coin that yourselves?
No.
Oh, that's been out there?
Oh, yeah, that's out there.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
so how would you compare prices in the exurbs to the big cities?
Yeah, I think for many, like when you're thinking about what that comparison is, what you're thinking about is how much do you save by accepting a 90-minute commute or beyond 60 minutes, right, to that more downtown core where you can go to the theater or you can go to the ball game, but not maybe in your more local city hamlet, right? When you're talking about affordability, generally if you're thinking more of the kind of expensive core metropolitan areas, and you were thinking about how much does that mortgage payment take out of the typical income, right? When we talk unaffordable, it is not uncommon now for a lot of those major metropolitan areas to be pushed above the share of income that you can even qualify for if you're just at a median income. In the exurbs, it becomes much, much more reasonable, especially if I'm in an area like the Midwest, right, where to move further out is even more affordable.
I dream of the wraparound porch, which I think the exurbs would bring. So prediction of hot housing markets 2025, Buffalo, Indianapolis, Providence, Rhode Island, Hartford, Connecticut, Virginia Beach.
That one moved up fast.
Yeah, that went really quickly.
Yeah.
So these surprises for you? What's the commonality between all these?
And also, Buffalo's #1 for a second year in a
running.
row?
People call Buffalo like a new Brooklyn. Honestly, people come from Brooklyn.
Really?
They fly. I know people who've moved from Brooklyn to Buffalo because you get great housing for relatively cheap.
It's affordable, and honestly, the job growth is really significant, right? Buffalo is a place that's growing and changing and still offering a lot of that affordability. Indianapolis on the list, when you think Midwest, I think that too offers affordability. But when we're talking about, say, exurbs or even secondary markets in the Northeast, the cities that rise to the top are relatively affordable, right? If I have Hartford, Connecticut, and Providence, Rhode Island, compared to Boston and New York, that's that appeal there. And actually, the only surprise for me on the top 10 list was Salt Lake City, only because a couple of years ago, they were actually experiencing falling prices.
Wow.
So that's a turnabout story.
And no West Coast cities on this top 10
yeah,
list.
Salt Lake City was as far west as we went.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Skylar, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you.